Hi, my name is Roger Blumenthal. I'm the executive pastor here at Pantano Church. I've been in this role over a decade, and along the way we've seen lots of changes and lots of opportunities come our way. One of those you're looking at and you get to see part of is the solar structures behind us. 10 years ago, we had the opportunity, as solar was on the rise, we had the opportunity to really invest and say, how does this make sense to our church? And obviously, there's things we want to do for our community, for our city. Being able to have reusable energy is one of those great things. In the process of that, we've saved thousands of dollars literally every year by installing this solar to create energy here on our campus. So that's been an amazing part of what this has happened. On the benefit of that, we also have a huge array that's over our playground, which has given us a huge area of shade for families and kids to play under. We have two areas now of shaded parking, so that's been a benefit. Just a side benefit, which is part of our story and part of our benefit. It's just a side benefit of having places for us to park in the summer with shade. One of the other aspects that has impacted us with going with solar is we began to look at the rest of our campus and going, where else are we spending money, using resources that we don't need to? And so we took a look at our campus, and though we have lots of plants, lots of trees, none of them are watered, except one little playground where we have grass for the kids. Everything else is xeriscaped. Everything else is native. Everything else is lives on what God gives us with the rain. So we don't water. We have no irrigation anywhere else on our property, excepting for that one little playground. The process was we actually had a contractor that I knew from Phoenix contacted me and said, hey, we've got this opportunity with solar. This was about 12 years ago, 11 years ago. And so we began to look. I said, well, let's take a look. And as we started looking at it, we said, this makes great sense. Let's see what this looks like. And so we actually put it out to bid. We designed the project, put it out to bid to 3 different companies. TFS, which I will continue to sing their praises. They did a fabulous job, presented us with the best proposal. And we accepted their proposal, and we had a group of people that we had put together to kind of analyze the proposals and see which one was best, made most sense for us. And we put in a contractor, a man who had a small solar business, and some other people who knew the language and knew that, and put them in a room together and had the conversations, and we came up to the point of being able to accept TFS's proposal. So the process for us is we weren't really conscious of our environment. I mean, that wasn't a high priority for us. At church, about 2,500 people, and that wasn't the number one priority. Our number one priority was preaching the gospel and reaching the lost. And this 10 years ago, 11 years ago, gave us the opportunity to start thinking differently about how we can also embrace that idea and be better stewards of our environment. So with the xeriscaping, the solar, we started thinking different, started looking at things differently. We've even, though we don't have them installed yet, we're ready to install charging stations for cars if that gets to a point of saying, hey, we're ready to do that. So we're looking for that opportunity. We've been looking at the kind of cups we use and how do we use the things that are recyclable or not. We recycle cardboard, of course, and those kinds of things. So we try to look at everything now through a different lens than we had ever looked at before. If you're a smaller organization, solar is a great way that brings benefits to your church. To your organization. One, it saves you money. Ultimately, power is going to continue to rise, the cost of power. Once you lock in a solar array, your power is stuck at the same price. So you'll be paying for a lease on your power, and the power is free. You're paying for a lease on equipment, the power becomes free. And so that changes your system, not just maybe for today, but tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now, you'll be reaping the benefit of that. So I'm very much a proponent of solar because of what it does long term. Then if you can start looking at where you can put it on your property and how that can change and how that can be a benefit to your church, then it becomes a secondary benefit to the primary, which is the power. So what you see here is a sprung structure. Sprung, S-P-R-U-N-G. Looks a little bit like a circus tent, but when we were investigating going to or building a new student union, a student building for our middle school and high school kids, we started looking at all the different types of construction, and we ran across sprung. And so we chose it for two reasons. One, the speed of which we could install it. So we literally built this building from start to finish in 8 months, from the time we started construction to the time we opened it. The other thing we did with it is we looked at the efficiency. Now this building, because it's a really new technology, or newer to Tucson, engineers here didn't really know what to do with it. So they totally overtonned the air conditioning. We could, I think, hang meat in there with about 800 people inside because we have that much capacity. The great news is the efficiency. In the middle of summer, when we were putting it together with the doors open and all the contractors in here, the AC units were still running in stage 1. They never even got to stage 2 in the final days as they were getting ready to open it. So even with all the hot air coming in, 105, 110 degrees, the AC units were easily able to keep the building cool. The rain on this one, obviously as you look at it, the watershed is 100%. So it comes rolling down all over. So we had to take that into account as we built it. There's no way to put gutters on it and direct it. So you will see along the base the rocks, and we have rocks and drains all the way around it to make sure that we could, and the cement is at an angle away from the building to be able to draw the water away and then move it to the drain so we can direct it where it needs to go. Our opportunity 10 years ago, we had some great incentives, and so with the power company and our leasing company, and we put that all together, literally we saved thousands of dollars a month on our power bill. In just a couple of months, we will be paying off the lease totally, and all of the solar structures will belong to us, to Pantano, and we will save another $10,000 a month. So the impact on our budget has been incredible. The savings, it made sense to us, not just for our environment, but it made sense to us not just for our parking and our playground, but it made sense for us on a financial aspect as well. So it was a win-win-win all the way around, and we have been rejoicing in the opportunity ever since.